Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where it's about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about episode 5 of Hitmonkey. A great episode. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. So first and foremost, the main people behind all of this, we got the Wise Man, the Skeptic, and the Rooster. Basically, the different, like I guess, Yakuza bosses have come together being like, right, we need to put it into this monkey. So they put out a bounty, which I'm like, looking at the number, I was like, I guess it's supposed to be like 150 million yen, which I love that when Bryce sees it, holy crap, that's a big ass long number. He's like, what is that in US dollars? I'm like, I just roughest estimate, I'd assume that's like 1.5 mil. Maybe US dollars. That might be, it might be even less. I'd assume like a 1.5 million. Because I think it's like one. I'm treating it like one, where you just basically knock off 2 zeros. So we'll see. But yeah, I love that while the monkey was like, while this is all happening, like the well, because they're saying this all started because of the Ken situation, but it's like, once again, their like rule is kind of not to get into the political stuff. Even later on, they do suspect, I guess, like word got out that the Rooster did it because they're planning on popping him later. So I guess like they did some searching around and like I guess his name came up. It's like, but why would I break our code? And it's like having someone in that powerful position in your pocket is what that all stems from. So I'm guessing like, is he like the main through line, or is there someone above him? It's kind of, you would, because he's so unassuming, because he's like, oh, I'm just here to serve. But I mean, I guess it's like, right, could be hiding who he is. I mean, to be fair, we're dealing with like Yakuza mob bosses, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. But I guess like when you think of kind of someone that's on that mob boss level, you think of a Kingpin, which we saw him in a picture of him, because the same tailor that they're going to get the monkey suit is the same dude who made did work for Fisk. So that was interesting. And like first thing that's Marvel related that I've been like, hey, Kingpin, nice touch. But immediately, like, the moment word got out, we got all these different people, like the poacher. What's that kid's name? Was it Iko? The, like, freaking, I guess, social media assassin that's, like, taking pictures and, posting and being like, like and subscribe. And you're like, well, he's, like, posting, like, his kill and stuff like that. So, literal ninja wearing, like, kind of like an Oni mask of sorts. So every assassin out the woodwork. We even found out like, oh yeah, there was a dirty cop that's actually a Yakuza. That was kind of interesting. But yeah, everyone came out the woodwork to like take care of him. I like their transition when like the ninja came to attack him and it burst into like black and white and he smashes him through the window. So it makes you wonder, did Bryce ever have like a big price on his head or something like that? Because he jokes, he's like, oh no, I mean, you know, I've had a large bounty on my head. And, you know, it's not that, he's like, yeah, people who focus on their bounty, like, talk about how much their bounty is, or just like, you know, going on and on about like how, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, did he ever get to a point where he had a bigger bounty on his head? I'm curious. When I think of bounties, especially in an anime sense, all I think about is like One Piece, because I think that's always like the neatest thing of like, oh yeah, how much is the Straw Hat crew worth now individually, and just to see like as the series progresses, their bounties go like way up. It's just always interesting. So, but aside from that, some people try to get on a train. Well, while they were on the train, like people are taking pictures. You even see like a cute version of the monkey, kind of like almost like a super kawaii version of the monkey, which is like, oh yeah, like now you're going to become a meme. And the monkey's like, what's a meme? He's like, it's a meme. So don't worry about it. Just be glad that your brain is so small you don't understand. People get on a train and he wreaks a little havoc. But all this death ends up summoning Yuki, the spirit. I'm like, this came, okay, now we're going into the bonkers territory, because before now, it's like, yeah, we had the monkey, but everything was kind of grounded to a point, because it's like, yeah, these are just regular people. Well, there was Fat Cobra with his powers, but now it's like, oh, we have a full-blown, like, ghost assassin, Yuki, coming after him. And because she is a ghost, too, she can see Bryce, and not only can she see him, she can actually hurt him, too. Bryce had told him not to kill the cop, but he did it anyway, just because, like, well, the guy's trying to kill me, so got to him first. But now, like, people are torn. It's like, oh, right, he's killing Yakuzas, and now he's killing cops. Like, the number one question is, who's going to be the next one on the monkey's hit list? And they're like, ooh, Also love, it's so dark and messed up, but basically people have been killing the wrong monkey. They're like, it's not even the same species of monkey. And this guy shows up with the monkey, and the guy's like, kill him and dump him where all the other monkeys are. And the guy's like, no. It's like, that's so sad, all the innocent monkeys that are getting killed. That's legitimately heartbreaking to think about, how many monkeys are killed. I mean, that monkey in particular didn't even look anything like our monkey. So, like, not even the same color, and it's like, people are making that mistake. You're like, oh, that's heartbreaking. But once again, Yuki attacks, and I love that Bryce is like, oh, you think you're like hot shit, so he's like, fine, you won't take any of my advice, fine, do what you want to. And then the ghost lady and proceeds to attack. But I love that he's like, okay, that actually hurts, when she's like strangling him. He's like, oh, but it feels so good to be touched. But she's not just like, oh, like stretch. She's got like stretchy arms, Mr. Fantastic style, but she's also shooting out energy waves and shit like that. I'm like, whoa. Kind of love that he's like, is it literally like a little Comic-Con here every day or something like that? Just like all the crazy, I mean, especially with their assassins they run into in this episode, it makes sense. But trying to fight off Yuki, and then there's also the situation of like running into Iko, whatever social media assassin dude is, and he's trying to like, while the monkey's like riding on top of a car, like while also fending off Yuki. At the same time, Haruka and Ito are talking about the whole conversation about like, right, like he's like, if the monkey had anything to do with my partner's death, I'd kill him. But for him, it's like, right now, I'm not sure where the monkey stands, you know, because it's like, right, he's like, the cop that he killed, because Haruka's like, oh, like he was a cop, like, does it matter, like, if I knew him or not? It's like, well, actually, he was a Yakuza, because his brother and his father were Yakuza, so I knew that, so... But I also love it came on. It's like, hey, there's a monkey riding on, like surfing on top of a yellow sports car. I'm not making this. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. I'm like, you had to specify that because it sounds like bizarre as hell. But Ito gets in front of the car, and the guy was willing to like run him over, but the monkey gets in, and then he swerves. And the thing is, later on, Ito is like, I saw the monkey, and it goes. I was like, are you talking about Yuki, or are you talking about Bryce? Because even Bryce was like, oh, like, how do you do what you do? Like, you have these powers and stuff like that. Because it's also like, right, are you the one responsible for all the killing in Tokyo? It's kind of like our first line towards him, and then Bryce is like, I mean, all the killing? No. I mean, it's basically like, we're not responsible for all the killing in Tokyo. Are we making up a good chunk of it? Sure. But essentially, I am curious, like, if given, I mean, usually ghosts, if they can focus enough, usually can move objects. Now, whether he'll get the full-blown, oh, God, all these special powers like Yuki, it might be she's a special case of, like, she's a 200-year-old ghost, so, like, maybe she had those powers before. I'm assuming those are ghost powers, so maybe Bryce can. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it's like, people can't see him, but people can see Yuki. That's why I'm like, I don't know whether Ito... Because in that moment, like, the monkey, like, was drifting to kind of avoid hitting Ito. He looks that way, but we see, like, everyone look at Ito's direction. But that's actually what made Yuki back down, because she's like, oh, that good and evil can come from the most surprising places. But, like, she saw the monkey's heart. The fact is that he was willing. His code wouldn't allow him to kill Ito. Like, he was like, no, I'm going to protect Ito, which... Side note, I love that, like, when the car crashed, he slid on Iko's, like, face like he was, like, a skateboard or something. And even, like, even Bryce was, like, he was like, oh, man, that's pretty dope that you did. It was like, that was some sick-ass shit. But, Yuki's like, yeah, like, if you ever need my help, call upon me. Also, dump that sidekick if you're a part. No, he's not, he's the sidekick, not me. Like, you completely got our dynamic wrong. So... But immediately afterwards, like, he's flicking lice at him. And obviously, he wasn't too... Bryce wasn't too happy about that. But then the monkey gets captured by the poacher. And it's like, right, he's going to take us to the rooster. And so Bryce is like, right, you're actually way better at this than me. Like, surfing on a car, like, surfing on that dude and making his face, like, slide against babe. He's like, I could have never done that. So it's like, yeah, he's a lot better. Because we only seen, like... Bryce get to work. We've only saw like that one assassination, like, so we don't know like how good he. Well, I mean, to be fair, we did see him get in combat in the first episode too, so he is pretty good. So, but it's like, yeah, the monkey's better, and he's like, yeah, I am jealous of you. You got all the skills and everything, so just listen to me. And I love how they approach that whole situation where, like, yeah, using I was wondering like how the monkey was doing that, but it's like yeah they had the poacher's body, his head was cut off, but also like he had a cage stuck inside of his body, and then the monkey just busts out, bam 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 bam, and I love that guy being like not again, and then later on the ambulance show up looking at the scene like holy shit, and he's like oh not again, poor bastard. That's probably going to be like. It's kind of a weird reference to make because it's not a one for one, but it might be like the Avatar situation of like, oh, the cabbage man, like that, like, oh, my cabbages. It might be like something similar to that. Like that guy might fill that role. There's also the guy in all the, I'm blanking on his name. Was it Turk? Was that his name? There was a guy that's like a low ranking gangster dude like that constantly popped up in all like the Netflix Marvel stuff from time to time. Like he had like small appearances here and there. I want to say his name was Turk. I want to say he's probably going to play a similar role to that. But the rooster ended up getting away. Now whether straight up cops ended up arresting him, granted he's got friends in high places. So also Akiko publicly supported the vigilante because it's like right, Ozu, he tried to kill me, he threatened my uncle, tried to run me off the road. But, yeah, despite what the monkey's done, he's done none as bad as Ozu, which now it's like, yeah, you have publicly, like, sided with the monkey vigilante, so vigilanteism doesn't always get, like, the high praise, but, you know, the monkey's got his own, like, fan base and stuff like that, because there was even that line from Bryce being like, yeah, I guess you, he made some, like, remark about, like, who's trying to kill you is kind of a reflection upon yourself. Which I'm like, what does your killer say about you? But I guess, you know, I mean, because it wasn't like some very specific assassin that killed you. It was like some like hired guns, regular hired guns that kill you. It wasn't anyone like fancy like the monkey's getting, you know, so. But it just once again shows like how quickly his star is rising in the getting attention from other people. I think everyone, I mean, the wise man and the skeptic are dead. Once again, I think the rooster's the only one that survived in that room, other than the guy that is got hurt before, and now he's getting healed up again. So, but at the end, a monkey shows up, you know, gets his suit, and the guy takes a picture, and he was going to take down Bryce's picture, and Bryce was like, I can't watch this, but the monkey made him keep it, and he took down someone else's picture. He's like, oh. Thanks, buddy. And it's like, right, we are going to be more of a team. Like, I'm going to suggest something, but if you're okay with it, like, he was suggesting that they go to Akiko's house. And it's like, right, if you want to, like, ever impress a woman, I'll give you advice, but only if you want to take it. And it's like, right, just women just want someone that'll listen to them. And he rolls up at a place, and Akiko lets him in, even, like, put some peroxide and even, like, a bandage over his wound. And it's like, oh, what did they do to you? But also the cat's like, no, get out. And so it's like, right, this is supposed to be temporary, but we'll see whether because the monkey really likes her, so we'll see whether he'll stay around or not. So I'm curious how her uncle's going to feel about her harboring a vigilante of this nature, a killer of this nature. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see where the next episode takes us with all this, especially because Ito's perspective and most likely Haruka's perspective on things being like, right, he's not that bad of a guy, the monkey. So we'll see where everything takes us going forward, especially because it seemed like for right now, it seems like the rooster's the only person left, but, you know, connections and stuff like that, just to make sure nothing ever falls back on him. I'm assuming Ozu. Which, once again, now that we're seeing like a side of her, like her uncle's bringing up good points of like, he's got justifiable points he's making to Akiko, but I'm also like, like I said, I was waiting for the twist because, like I said, like episode 2 kind of made me go like, maybe I wasn't right about Shinji, but now I'm still getting that inkling like, I think the twist is going to be revealed that he's the one behind this, not Ozu. Ozu seems like the easy guy to believe like, oh, he did something terrible like this, but I think it's going to be like, nah, Shinji wanted his opportunity to have all the power and stuff like that. He was corrupted, and he, you know, Ken was potentially going to interfere with what he had. So like, right, now I put myself in this position where it seems like I'm the honorable. So there might be, that still could play out to be what happening, or once again, maybe Shinji will prove me 100% wrong and just be a straight up upstanding guy the entire time. We shall have to wait and see. We shall have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know why I said it like that. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day, and goodbye.